And now on to part 2. Detective work with Mr. Gurko from Mantic Collectors.
That's right.
Who was kind enough to bring parts to possibly replace parts we don't know.
Roll the dice.
For sure are
Roll
broken.
the dice.
It makes an interesting noise when you let the clutch out now.
That's what we like to hear.
And it has 0 grip. I blame myself.
No,
I didn't.
In looking at strict video footage,
Yes.
I don't think you really did anything that should have caused a failure, but we'll find out soon enough.
Now, there's something you don't ever hear from a manufacturer. It's usually the opposite. So we're going to go under there and pull the bell housing and then just start playing detective.
So here is the challenge to figure out the spacing. Because said throwout bearing is connected to the bell, we're going to have to get creative on how we figure out that measurement. We're going to check the throw on this bearing real quick, see how this clutch is releasing before we take it all apart. So what we did is we put our steel alignment tool into the clutch to keep the discs where we want them, so nothing comes loose when we step on that clutch pedal, in theory. So yeah, go ahead.
How much on a 1 to 10 scale?
Give me about a 4.
Go for it.
Like all the way to the floor, or no?
No.
Okay.
Let's see, there we go. Everybody's moving. Come on up.
Yep, I'm up.
Okay. I'm trying to see. We want to see what our gap is, or what our gap used to be in there, because I think
We got no more gap.
we got no gap.
Ain't got no gap in it.
Ain't got no gap in it.
So we had it, then it wore rapidly. Mm-hmm. And then we had no gap, then it didn't release all the way. So when I tried to do 3rd gear burnout clutch dumps, it was like,
Yeah, I think what happened was
you get no clamping force.
Exactly. So the bearing, I think, bottomed out in its housing. And even though the fingers grew a little bit, it stopped. So essentially it's holding the clutch open, and that's probably why she said no mas.
And then it just like machined the friction material right off the surface.
Oh, yeah. Wiped her clean.
Probably glazed the flywheel. And
yeah, probably made a mess. Give me about half throw.
This is about half.
A little more. A little more. There we go. I know we've just met, but stroke it a couple times for me. Okay. Okay.
That's all of it, actually.
Yeah, so the challenge is going to be we need to figure out what our air gap is going to be here. Mm-hmm. And I think we're in luck. I think we can remove a couple spacers from here, shorten that up, get us a little more air gap, a little more clearance, and that way, next time we do 12th gear burnouts, she'll be perfectly fine.
you heard him say it was perfectly fine for me to do that.
I did. Okay.
That's a lot of clutch nuts.
It's a little juicy,
Hey now.
but the bearing looks good. We're going to go ahead and measure the finger height on the clutch just to see if my suspicions are correct.
I'll get you a straight edge and some caliper.
But yeah, see, our bearing is just, it is buried. It cannot go back any further, and it was already touching the finger. So I think it was holding the clutch fingers partially depressed. So. You take a one, yeah, it's about 260. So she's not totally gone, but it was definitely had enough of life.
You rapidly depleted the life of the clutch.
So if it was brand new stock, what would you be getting there?
So we put the new one up there. It'll be about 4. You'll see the fingers kind of.
So I weared 150 thou off this thing?
You done wore 150 thou off over there.
It wasn't 1,000 miles. It was the
It was the
1,000 foot.
It was the 1,000 foot of torment. Yeah, they're all good and even. So yeah, she just got kind of wore out there. All right, let's get us a 13 mil.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what we got here. Ooh, she's trying to come off of there. Well, we got some different shades of blue.
Blue is heat.
Blue is usually my favorite color, but not like this. That took some temperature. That took a little temperature there. Oh, yeah, look at that.
Whoa.
That's pretty special right there.
That is warm, buttery.
Dang.
That is, look at that, Mike. That is exquisitely
Smeared
well
it,
done.
dude.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Well, that's probably when it was making all the sparks was probably that stuff.
Getting down to the rivets.
Essentially, it's actually not down to the rivets. Oh, that one's. That's there's not much there. Yeah, there is not much there.
What is that, cake batter? What'd you make
I think that is. Well, we usually use a certain type of Play-Doh for our clutch material.
Skateboard grip tape?
But skateboard grip tape even better. But you know what? In retrospect, I mean, the discs are pretty... We could take these discs and pop new linings on. They'll be good to go. Springs are solid. Nothing else is broken. Yeah. We just drill out those rivets.
Floaters took a beating.
Pop it. Yeah. We might be able to save that. There's probably the Sparky too.
You done messed it up good.
Done.
When I do a job.
Yeah, man.
Good job.
This is going to fall on me, so we're just going to take him down.
Wow.
Hello. I'll be nicer to it.
We do have one slight problem. I think we got a 6-bolt flywheel over there. That's an 8-bolt flywheel.
Oh.
But we can probably just leave that flywheel on there. Normally I wouldn't do that. That's pretty... That is pretty deep. You can see a lot of deposits right here.
That's not supposed to look like that.
That's not supposed to look like that.
Don't do this at home.
Nope.
We're only doing this because we don't have another flywheel. Don't do this at home.
Yeah, for everybody watching at home, this is not how we like to do this. But all we're going to do is we're just going to try to get some of this burnt, charred Cajun style friction material off of there. And that'll let the new clutch discs bed in. We're just going to be careful. We don't have a whole lot of ridges or any real high spots, so I think it's going to work smooth enough. Definitely worth the shot to try to get us going. But yeah, usually we'd like to get this off of here, regrind it fresh, make sure everything is true. But since we don't quite have that option, we're going to make do with the best of what we got here. How do you like that, Doctor? All right. So, I think we might have got lucky. I think we really just had a lot more just material transfer. I do not think the surface was warped at all, which I'm not exactly sure how we pulled that off, but that doesn't look too bad. I'm willing to try that.
Okay. I like this part because it looks like there's going to be candy in there.
There could be candy. Be candy.
Clutch candy.
Clutch candy, not that other kind of candy.
So if you buy a Mantic clutch, it comes in this cool case. It looks like a turntable.
That's right. That's right.
So, still twin disc?
Still a twin disc. Now, we did something a little different. We're going to actually run. Put this around here.
It's not blue.
This is not blue. This is au naturel.
That's what it should look
The
like.
way it should look.
If someone else drove it.
Well, now listen. So, we're going to go with a solid hub. Because you're running the sequential, I like to take the springs out of there. Tends to make the transmission a little more happy. Shifts a little quicker, a little smoother. In general, and the guys at 6XD can contest this either way, I don't think the sequentials like the sprung hubs because you get just a little bit of rattle in there. And they're only there to keep it quiet at idle anyway. So since I know you're really concerned about peace at idle, we're going to forgo that and go with a little more strength. So yeah, we'll get these slid underneath there and yeah. See if this should work a little bit nicer.
This is a big moment. I've never taken this out of the box. Gurko's the first one to get to use the new snap-on torque wrench, which works at all angles.
Right. Let's see.
Last 4 hours.
Thank you, Doctor. Ooh, that is nice,
Right?
man.
Look at that thing.
Like I'm
It's
spoiled.
gonna vibrate and beep, I think.
Ooh. Well, let's just see what we get here. It's got little LEDs on it.
It's like a shift light.
Yeah, there you
There
go.
we go.
It lights up when you approach, and green is when you hit your target.
That is outstanding. Okay. For all those waiting to leave in the comments below, no, I didn't quite go in the star pattern, but we were varied enough. I don't think it's gonna hurt anything. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
And now the real test. Like butter.
Like butter. I like that. And what we'll actually do is we'll actually leave that in there because we're going to test the throwout bearing. We're going to get the spacing right, and then we'll spin this to make sure the clutch is releasing as we expect. Let's take it out real quick. We'll do some measurements just to make sure our finger height is where we want it. Where are the implements of that? Ah, thank you. Let's see what we got here.
That's some measuring.
Implements of measuring. And with the wag on it there.
So what did we have before and what do we have now?
We were like at 260. So that one right there is right at 400. 395, but I'll call it 400.
Wait, what? No. Inch 400?
Well, so you got to remember you've got an inch plus or minus of your straight edge.
Oh yeah, I was like, wait.
So yeah, so when you throw it on there and you see, yeah, when you see,
I was like, oh yeah, the ruler.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. That's a good point.
Clutch is in. Bell housing is back into the truck. There's our bearing. The bearing is sitting on spacers, which means it's close to the clutch fingers. Might be too close, not sure. We're going to slam the thing back up there, bolt it on, measure the gap. If we don't like the gap, we're going to take some of those spacers out from between the bell housing and the throwout bearing. I'd rather do this a lot of times. Not always right.
Not always right. Okay.
Where are the bolts?
I got them here.
You got them?
It's that safety bolt we were talking about earlier. Now the trick here, because this is a little different, we got to try to get in there and measure how much gap we have between the bearing.
Feeler gauges?
Yeah, if you had some feeler gauges, yeah, we could do that.
Okay.
That would be great, actually. Okay. So I would say, as big of a pain in the butt as this has been. So yeah, you got about
Not
100.
We need more.
We need a little more than
I need 100 more.
It'd be nice if we got 100 more.
And that's without the bell housing like fully clamped.
It's pretty snug. We might gain a couple thou, but it ain't gonna be enough to
Make the difference.
I mean, lose a couple of hours.
So
Yes.
I would say we can get about 50 thousandths lesser right there.
Yep.
Let me try one last thing. Let me make sure I'm not. That's pretty snug. Okay, so we'll say we got about 120. Man, if we could get us another 80, that'd get us at 200.
I feel good about that.
Yeah, I feel better about that for sure. Okay, so we'll knock this bell housing back off of there. See if we can space these about 80 thousandths less than what we've got. And then we can put it back up there. Once we're pretty confident, we can plumb our line back in. Throw the alignment tool in here. Slowly stroke the pedal. And we'll find our release point, hopefully without popping that bearing out of there, because that would really make me a bad guy. But hopefully that'll do it. All right. Let's get our... Didn't even nick the clutch. How you like them apples?
So it's a 1/4 inch hole.
This is called shopping for washers.
Yep.
This is so much more convenient than going to Ace Hardware.
Yeah,
Saves so much time.
ain't that the truth? Brought to you by boltsandnuts.com.
Okay, so we had 495. Each one of these is 55 thousandths.
If we did 2 of those, that'll get us a little more than 100. Oh, wait a minute. You guys are trying to match the... I'm sorry.
So 3 is 165. We need to get to what? So no, we had 395,000. So we need to get to 295, right?
Yeah, we were making it about 80,000 shorter than what we had.
All right, so 5 of these is 285,000.
Sounds good enough.
I think so.
It's about 100,000 shorter than what we had.
Okay, that should be all right.
We need exactly 5 grade 8 boltsandnuts.com flat washers.
Yeah, double check those guys. There'll be a little variance there, but I don't think it's going to be enough to matter for what we're doing. I may or may not know the guy that put together the clutch, and it should release a little earlier, so that'll keep us safe with our bearing. Famous last words.
These are all going to be within about 1.5 thou, 2 thou.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Really good, actually.
Oh yeah, 285. There we go.
Right on.
Nailed it.
Those are some really good washers, actually.
And when I run out, I just scan the QR code and they come back.
That's pretty awesome.
They refill.
Okay.
You know, hand me the bell,
Yes.
and I'll see what we got.
Top side or bottom side?
Top side, I think, is okay. Thank you, thank you.
All right, there we go. It's back together. Drive shaft is in, transmission is back in, obviously the clutch is in. We need to reinstall the shifter, clean up some of the wiring. I'm lowering those TMI buckets because they're sitting up too high for me. And then after we road test and break the clutch in, this bad boy will go to California for an epic shootout versus David Freiberger's muscle truck. See you next time on Finnegan's Garage. Good.